Thanks for joining me for another video. It's Open Championship season, so I'm going to have a handful of videos looking at a few different angles. In this video, we're just going to look at the event itself and some basics of just showing up to bowl and what kind of options are available. If this is your first year bowling, I have some tips here that should help it go more smoothly for you. Any of the other OC veterans watching, please feel free to add comments below with your own input. I do have a quick update here also. The start of the OC has been delayed until the 1st of May due to the coronavirus, so if you had squads between now and then, you're going to be rescheduled. I'm not sure when. I'm not even sure they'll be able to start by May 1st, but everyone is keeping a close watch every day, so as soon as they have a better idea of what's going on, they'll let us know. Be sure to check out bowl.com for any official news or announcements. However, that doesn't stop us from preparing anyway, and for those of you going for the first time, I would highly advise getting there at least a day early. Bowling at South Point in Vegas or any of the convention centers is a big enough experience, but even though Reno as a destination may not hold the intrigue or excitement of a Las Vegas, the National Bowling Stadium is my favorite place to bowl. You walk in the doors, hear the faint crashing of pins, you ride up the escalators, and the massive arena just opens up. It's easy to get a buzz and a little jittery just from being in there watching and imagining being out there bowling. I know not everyone has an endless amount of vacation time or can afford to spend a week out at the tournament, but going 2 days early is what I'd recommend. That way you can work out any jet lag, get settled in, get comfortable in the venue, and bowl some of the side events, which is what I'm going to talk about next. You'll need to check in when you get there. Would advise doing that first thing because you'll have a form or two to fill out. Then you'll be given a welcome packet that includes a coupon book with a lot of discounts for things in the area, as well as some general information. As soon as you get to the top of the escalator or ride the elevators up, the check-in booth is towards the south end of the building on the second level. There are also a number of different sized lockers in the arena across from check-in, as well as in the hallway on the very south of the building. These can be incredibly convenient for bowling ball storage, as you'll have some pretty long walks getting bowling balls in and out of the stadium otherwise. The MBS has done quite a few renovations recently, so the location of the check-in booth and lockers may have changed, but I can't imagine that being the case. When it's time to bowl your squad, the squad room will be down that hallway to the south on the second level. Just follow it all the way around to where you'll have to have your equipment weighed. Due to us still being in the limbo period waiting for the official rule change to start August 1st in regards to weight holes, there's nothing to worry about either way. If your ball has a weight hole, it'll have to meet the 1 ounce tolerance, which I imagine it already does if it has a weight hole to begin with, and if it doesn't have a weight hole, there's really nothing to worry about. You're allowed to check in 8 balls for each event, and though I don't think most people travel with more than 6 or can really carry more than that at one time anyway, if you're driving or are close, that will be something to consider. Inside the squad room, there are rows of chairs with lane numbers on them, so each team has a designated area to sit and leave their equipment. I believe the squad room opens an hour and a half before the squad, and I would highly recommend getting in there first thing, getting your stuff weighed, and then just leaving it there. Getting stuck in a line moving bowling balls a few feet every minute or so down that long hallway in the sun is just agony. At the top of the escalators in a very prominent position are the manufacturer booths, and these are a lot of fun. Each of the manufacturers will have their own area with all kinds of equipment for sale, usually quite a few old gems, and some things you can't find anywhere else or can't find anymore. Some people make it a habit to buy balls at Nationals. I have no idea why, but while I'd use the booths as a resource, I wouldn't get a ball drilled there. They don't know how you bowl. They don't know how you like the ball to feel. There's no magic layout for the building or one pattern or another that they're going to put on a ball, especially when they don't know your access point. Get some accessories, get some surface work done. This would be a really good time to get some balls detoxed if you don't have one available in your area, because every booth has a handful of detox machines. This way you can get your stuff at peak performance and ready to go. Maybe buy an old gem or two, but leave the drilling to your PSO. As far as the side events go, I'd recommend bowling at least the Bowler's Journal Championships. It takes place on the high end of the center and not only gives you a feel for getting on the lanes, but it also gives you a look at the doubles and singles pattern. You bowl 3 games, moving a pair to the right each game. Pro tip here, do not, and I mean absolutely not, develop any hard and fast plan or strategy based off the BJ. Treat it as a general idea of what to expect, maybe sort out what you think you should start with, but the BJ always plays a bit different from the tournament lanes. The vast majority of the time, the tournament lanes will play wetter, and you don't move during singles and doubles, so transition will be different than when you're following other people from pair to pair. Even though the BJ is on the same lanes in the same house with the same machine using the same pattern and the same oil, it will not play identical during the tournament, so don't expect it to. Treat it as a separate event. Use it as a warm-up, use it to make sure your equipment feels right. Sometimes, depending on what climate you come from, your hands could swell or shrink, or depending on how much you're enjoying local food and drink, maybe. For those that drive or ship your equipment, even if you're flying with your equipment, it may be several days in between the last time you bowled and going into the team squad, and it's not a good idea to go into league cold, let alone the team set at the OC. This brings me to my next point. If you can schedule a team practice session, that's highly suggested. Once again, like the BJ, the team practice session won't play like the tournament lanes, but the team pattern is the toughest one out there, and it'll be close enough that you can figure out a solid game plan. We used it last year to test out a couple different strategies. One was the obvious winner, and it helped us to a comfortable cash. The team set is usually the key to a good all events total, and it can set the tone for doubles and singles. Momentum is a big deal even when bowling on two different conditions. Prior to even going, if you can manage it, bowl on some tougher patterns, anything, just to train yourself to not chuck it to the ditch and watch it hook. People usually go to nationals and say there's so much oil, and yeah, the volumes are higher, but the team set hooks like crazy usually, and doubles and singles is wetter, but there's always plenty of ball motion. The only reason people think there's oil is that you're not going to be able to chuck it to the foreboard and watch it turn sideways. Definitely practice your spares also. Using the regular division, for example, most of the sets thrown are going to be between 525 and 625, generally speaking, with a number of ties in that zone. If you shoot 575 in singles, for example, you could end up tied with 20 to 30 other people or more, and whiffing a 10-pin somewhere in there could drop you a couple hundred positions. The 30 clean jackpot, which I'll talk about in a minute, is usually worth several $100s. That's something I've always wanted and have been close to a handful of times, but no matter what your average is, if you keep the ball in play and pick up a bunch of easy spares, it's within reach for everyone. There's also a couple more events like the 40 frame game that are fun, but it's on a house shot, so if you're interested in that, I'd recommend bowling it after the tournament. It's quite a bit of fun. It's very unique and another opportunity to make money. As far as the action in the tournament itself, there's a lot of options. There's a tournament-long 30 clean jackpot. If you stay clean for any one of the sets, you get a cut of the pot and a nice trophy. There's the 3, 6, 10, and the 1, 5, 9. If you enter those and strike in the 3rd, 6th, and first ball in the 10th of all 3 games of any set, you get a cut of that one. Same idea with the 1, 5, 9. Those are all either $10 a piece, or you can enter all 3 together for $25. Then there are all the $5 brackets you could ever want, both forward and reverse, which are fun. Then you have side pots, super side pots, which are based on higher games, and then super brackets, which involve all 9 games of the tournament. Those pay off pretty big if you can manage to make it through one of those. Plus, there are plenty of senior brackets for the older crowd, and all of these things are also by division. So if you're in the classified division, you'll be getting in brackets versus other classified bowlers. Finally, just for Reno as a destination, there's not a lot to do if you're not into gambling. The El Dorado, Silver Legacy, and Circus Circus casinos are a lot of fun. They're all kind of linked together. Circus Circus is different. They have an arcade and some small live circus-type shows. There's a sushi restaurant that is fantastic that's right at the entrance of Circus Circus from Silver Legacy on the 2nd level. Across from that is a giant buffet that's really good. We normally catch breakfast there every day. And there's a pretty ritzy steakhouse that's in the Silver Legacy, but aside from that, I'm not entirely sure what else there is to do. The majority of the reason for that, though, is that we spend nearly all our time at the stadium, and this is my biggest piece of advice. Sit and watch as much as you can or have time for. Squads run all day, and I mean all day, and they mix up team and doubles and singles throughout the day. There are always bowling celebrities there, too, at any given time. I got to watch the team Chris Prather bowled on shoot the winning team set in 2016 along with Mitch Hoope, Zach Rhodes, Justin Zwaszka, and Brent Bowers. And a couple years ago, I watched Jack Jurek, Carolyn Dorin-Ballard's teams. Last year, we were there at the same time as the Tang brothers, Chris Vide, DJ Archer, and Robert Smith. So there's always a big name there to watch and try to pick things up from. Overall, though, soak in the experience. It's definitely the biggest stage an amateur can bowl on, and even the best in the world really get up for and excited about this tournament. It's a big deal for them, too, so if you're nervous or overly excited, you're not alone. It's a tough tournament. It's a test for every single person that bowls it, so you can't let yourself get too down about a bad game or a bad frame. This is my favorite time of the year. I'm super bummed that there's no live streams like there used to be, and we still have 3 more months before we bowl our squad if everything goes according to schedule, but I'm already getting prepared. Look for some arsenal building videos for each of the 2 patterns over the next several days, plus some lane play strategy. Thanks for watching.